Hey everyone, it's Kyle here again with another episode of the Art of Physical Fitness Show. Today I'm answering a question that was asked to me via the website. So the question is from Clay and it's dealing with a plateau in his bicep development. So it's a pretty long question, so I'm going to kind of summarize it. But basically Clay says that he's been working out for 3 years, he's 18 years old. And everything is progressing along great except for his biceps. He's seemingly hit a plateau at around 50 pounds, I'm assuming in a barbell curl, for 9 times. He's tried changing reps, he's tried changing weights, but he just still does not seem to be able to break through this plateau. And he's worked with different things like resting longer, as far as 5 days, 6 days rest, but he still does not feel like he's fully recovered for his next training session where he works his biceps out. So with that said, he's just trying to figure out how to break the plateau, how to get through this and continue to progress further. So Clay, the first thing I would say to look into is, well, more so the first observation, not the first thing to look into. The first observation is to consider how many times a week are you training your biceps. If you're training it, what it seems like from the question, how you're doing it seems like you're only doing it once a week. Now in some cases that's fine, but as you see, you've kind of plateaued. If you are in fact only training your biceps once a week, I would consider upping that to maybe 3 to 5 times a week. Now, to compensate for that, what you're going to want to do is decrease the volume in each set, or each session, and instead increase the intensity. So instead of the traditional 4 sets of 10 or 4 sets of 9, whatever it is that you're going after, now you're doing maybe 1 or ideally like 2 sets of 10, 2 sets of 8 in the exercises, again 3 to 5 days a week. When you're doing this, you're going to be able to train with a much higher weight because you're not going to be as fatigued, and you're going to see more progress because it's just a change of stimulus for your body. So that's the first thing that came to my mind when I read this. The second thing that immediately came after that is doing the same thing but different. This comes from Pavel in his works, but basically what I'm saying, do the same thing but different. It relates to how you can do some different direct bicep curl exercises, but how I more so look at it is how the bicep actually works in relation to the body and the joints it acts around. Now the bicep is a 2-joint muscle. It works around the forearm as well as the shoulder and flexion. So with that in mind, now we can start to think of exercises that train the joints in that fashion as well. And the things that I would say for myself, I actually do not do any form of direct bicep work. Occasionally I'll do it, that's a lie, occasionally I'll do it just for fun, just for kicks and giggles. But for the most part, I don't do any direct bicep work. It all comes through chin-ups, pull-ups, and dumbbell and row variations and all those type of things. So that's what I would actually insist you doing, is pick up the focus you are doing on your rowing and pull-up types exercises. And with that said, I would separate it into 2 styles. One would be a weighted type of day, going with heavy weight, working in the 6 to 8 rep range through rows, barbell and dumbbell, as well as pull-ups and chin-ups, and neutral grip, working this grip right here, and doing the same thing with, I already said that, working also on the higher rep range. So do a day where you work maximal effort, if you were, a la West Side, and then a day where you work the repetition effort, where you're working 10, 15, 20, 25 total reps to work both ranges of the motion, work muscular fatigue and atrophy, and then muscular fatigue, and then working on the heavier side, on the strength side. So by doing this, we're getting both sides of the equation, high intensity as well as high volume. I would also consider inversing it a little bit. So instead of doing 4 sets of 10, if that's what you do, I would do 10 sets of 4. Now I want to go up to that heavy of a weight, maybe a weight I could do for 6 reps. Say if I was doing barbell curls, I would do 10 sets of 4, or 10 sets of 4 with what I could do for 6 reps. And this way you're going to get the same amount of reps, but more volume and more working because you're using a heavier weight. But again, I would actually more so suggest this for right now, for your case in point, doing this type of thing with pull-ups, barbell curls, dumbbell curls, and the like. The next thing I would do is just, as far as just doing the same thing but different, now we're going back, instead of just thinking about the joints, thinking more of their traditional curl variations, and start doing your curls in different styles. You can do towels wrapped around it for more of a fat grip, or if you have fat grips, you can use easy bar like this, working different angles, working your hands here, working outside, working inside, changing the angle that the muscle is being worked on. And then also there's reverse curls, working the backside. And then finally, I think the most beneficial exercise you're going to find for you is going to be the drag curl. Now with the drag curl, it's going to allow you to put more constant tension throughout the muscle, throughout the entire rep, as well as working the muscle through both joint actions. And I'll just describe here. Your traditional curl, it's going to be more this arcing pattern. This is probably what you're doing right now. With a drag curl, what you're going to do is you're going to keep it tight onto your body, and you're going to simply, like the name implies, drag it up along your thighs, your stomach, and up to the bottom of your chest. Now, if you notice, my elbows did not stay in place where it makes the bar arc out. Instead, my elbows go backwards as I drive up. When you do this exercise, you're going to find a much more constant tension felt throughout your muscles and a more constant resistance as opposed to a normal curl where you feel your most resistance down at the bottom, but then you get past about that point and then it's pretty much easy. But with a drag curl, you're going to feel tension and you're going to be putting in a high level of work throughout the entire rep. Now with that said, the other thing I would say and suggest for our isolation type work is changing the tempo of the actual exercise. Traditionally, your tempo is dictated by the load that you're using. So up, down, no real thought to it. You're just doing up and down like a piston. What I would instead do, and you can, it's limitless how much you manipulate this. But what I would just say very simply is 5 seconds on the downward, 5 seconds on the upward. So now it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, that was in the regular curl. You can do the cheat curl. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So when I'm training it that way, again, you're going to have more time and retention on the muscle for each rep, and that's a huge stimulus for muscular growth. To get muscular growth, the answer is between high load plus high volume. You got to be able to get the combination of the two. It's not just one or the other. It's not a high volume, it's not a high load. You need to figure out a way to get both. So using the high volume of tension through varying the eccentric and concentric lengths, working with inverse sets of it instead of 4 sets of 10 sets of 4, so you can use a little more weight but the same amount of reps, so you're going to get more volume and more stimulation for growth. Plus, doing things perhaps even for a month. I know that'll be tough for you to do mentally, but physically it's going to pay off. If you were to take a month off from any direct bicep work and instead focus on getting bigger and stronger in your basic elbow and shoulder flexion movements, including barbell curls, barbell rows, dumbbell rows, and pull-ups, both unweighted and weighted. And you might even throw in some explosive pull-ups if you wanted to. And then finally, like I said, changing up some of your grip, going with a fat grip, going with a neutral grip, going with a reverse grip. These type of little things, you're still training the same joint action, you're still training the bicep, but you're changing it, you're changing the way your body will perceive the work. When you do this, I feel that included with the high frequency of training, so you can still, if you feel the real need to include the curls in your training, I would again, do it on a very low level, maybe at the end of every session, and 2 sets of work in, and just get the extra volume in and work in of the curl. But I would still put the main focus of your energy and your recovery energy in increasing your rows and increasing your pull-ups, and therefore you will end up strengthening up your biceps. So, with that all said, I'll just recap again. Higher frequency, lower volume in the session, inverse the reps and sets, work instead with more rows and pull-up variation, both weighted and unweighted. Reduce or change the tempo of the exercise, would say 5 seconds down, 5 seconds up, 3 seconds down, 3 seconds up, what have you. Change up exercises like that, and also work with different grips, fat grips, reverse grips, neutral grips, and things of that nature. With this in mind, and if you take this, I don't see any reason, unless there's something that you just didn't say in the question that would answer this question even more clearly, that I don't see any reason that if you follow these methods that you won't see your curl numbers and your biceps improve and grow. And also finally, I should just add in, if you ain't eating, sometimes you could be stalling because you're not eating enough, or you're not getting enough sleep, so there's many other factors in it. But for the meantime, let's focus on those things, and I wouldn't doubt that your bicep strength and growth will increase. So if these questions, if this didn't answer you completely, if you feel like I left anything out, just respawn again with another question and I'll follow up on it, and I will follow back up with it, Clay. But I hope that answers it. And until next time, this is Kyle again with the Art of Physical Fitness. If you yourself have a question, just head to the website, theartofphysicalfitness.com, and head to the top of the page. There will be a little link that says questions with a little question mark, and you'll be taken to a page to input a question like Clay did and ask away, and I will respond to it as quick as I can. And if I think it's going to help a lot of others, I'll even post it to the blog as an episode of the show, just like this is, and I'll answer your questions. So again, Kyle with the Art of Physical Fitness, and I hope you have a great day. Thanks.